I'm Chris, and this is Single Dad Homesteading, brought to you from the beautiful Appalachian Mountains in northeast Tennessee. Elon's not going to join us today because I'm going to be making a little video telling you about myself and where I come from and how I got to the stage where I'm homesteading. I grew up in northeast Tennessee, attended Science Hill High School, and enjoyed every bit of it. Played football, was in ROTC and DECA, and enjoyed that time in my high school career there. Had a great time. Graduated from high school, joined the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fi to all those brothers out there and sisters out there that wore the uniform, as well as anybody else that wore any other branch's uniform. I appreciate the sacrifices that you've made. Went in the Marine Corps as a 0331 machine gunner and picked up a B billet of 8152 Security Forces. Was about 3 years in, was doing some training and blew out my knee and had to have several knee surgeries, and subsequently was retired out of the Marine Corps. Actually 6 months after my contract was up, so I spent a little extra time there. Enjoyed every minute of it. I'm a Parris Island Marine. You San Diego guys, you know the jokes, so we'll just leave it there. Went from the Marine Corps into the private sector. Spent about 4 years in the private sector working for various Fortune 500 companies doing internal investigations and security loss prevention type stuff for them. Did some contracting work, things of that nature. And then the day we all wish we could forget and couldn't, and 9/11 happened. It changed my life. It changed a lot of people's lives. Had a neighbor who is a federal law enforcement officer, and we did some shooting and stuff together in outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And I got a phone call one day, and he said, "You're going to go to work for us." And I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "Yes, you are." So long story short, I went to work as a federal law enforcement officer for the Federal Air Marshal Program. Stayed with them for just at 7 years, and then blew out my other knee and couldn't get back to a point where I could perform the duties that I needed to do. So with a total of around 11 and a half, 12 years of time in service, I was offered a full medical retirement and took it. Got out of the Air Marshal Service, played around for a little while, went back to school, went to culinary school. I love to cook, but went to culinary school to fulfill dreams of my own. My mother was a baker for a large grocery store chain here in northeast Tennessee, and then went to work in some factories. So I picked up my love for cooking and food from her. I am a big boy, but enjoy cooking. Love to smoke meats and barbecue, which will come in some videos later. My father's in carpentry. He's an amazing carpenter, from finished work to framing to doing stuff that I couldn't imagine. You can see all the wood and things behind us I've done, but only through his tutelage. So I went to culinary school, came back to northeast Tennessee from the Detroit area, and when I got back here, had a friend of a family member who was opening up a restaurant and asked me if I could help him set up his menu and stuff. We did that, got him set up, and decided I never wanted to be in the restaurant business again. So stopped and had the opportunity to open up a military outdoor supply store with a friend and some family. And we did and serviced actually law enforcement. We didn't do a lot of surplus. We did all new gear. We did body armor, things of that nature. So throughout all of this, I've been an avid outdoorsman, hunter. My family, we grew up here in northeast Tennessee, so we raised a garden during the summertime so that we could put ourselves through the wintertime. And we call it being mountain and country, but you guys and some others call it homesteading and prepping. I know homesteaders don't like to be called preppers, and preppers don't like to be called homesteaders. But the fact of the matter is every prepper aspires to be a homesteader, because if you don't have the skills that homesteading do, you can't survive with the gear and things that you've put away and prepped with. So to all you preppers that watch me, all those individuals that want to be preppers, don't prep. Homestead. Learn the skills that you need, grow the gardens you need, do it where you are with what you have. I know that's a common saying with everybody, but take the time to learn those skills. The more stuff you have in your toolbox will help you out with this toolbox here than the stuff that you have in your physical toolbox. If you know how to provide your own food, gardening, hunting, fishing, trapping, etc., identification of wild herbs, identification of edibles and medicinal plants. Knowing how to do those things will help you out a lot. So I started when we opened up the military supply store as kind of just something fun. Every couple of weeks we would have a prepping or bushcraft skills class or traditional skills class. I also flint knap and do some bow and arrow making and trap setting and things of that nature. We would do classes and people would come in. We would teach them anything from basics of shelter building to advanced foraging, and got into that, had some fun. That grew into an actual school where I was teaching, and then I met a woman, and we got married and had a beautiful child. It's Elin Max that you guys get to see. She had 2 beautiful children. Eli Van Hoy is one of those, and we didn't make it. So I ended up with full custody. A lot of you that know me know this, but I have 100% custody of Elin Max. It's the best gift I could ever have. I'm the richest man in the world. So with that, the school kind of took a back seat. We didn't carry on with that. I still teach on occasion if somebody calls. A lot of churches, things of that nature. So if you have a church that are interested in doing canning skills, or have a men's group that wants to go out, or a ladies group that wants to learn, self-defense, refusing to be a victim is an NRA instructor course that I've taken, as well as a lot of other NRA instructors courses. So I started doing that. It became me and Elin. At 6 months old, it was me and her. I was 39 years old, guys. I waited later in life to have a child. Luckily, I was already retired and could concentrate on her. I made some sound decisions and had some bad things happen to me that became blessings with the injuries that I sustained. So we bought a house on a lake with about 1.5 acres of property. Started a small homestead with chickens and rabbits and a garden, and we redid that house and did some things, and some unfortunate things happened with that home, and we did not get to stay on that homestead. I had a good friend, JC. If you're watching, JC, shout out to you. Thank you, brother. You helped me out a great deal. Told me one day he has a small homestead. He has his house, and then he had a small homestead, and he said, hey, he said, the little trailer's over there on the farm, man. He said, you can have your animals. You can go over and stay, this, that, and other. Do some work on the trailer for me. So we worked out a deal where I paid him, a small amount per month, and then helped out on the farm, and then redid some of the stuff in the little trailer that was there. And that, guys, is what gave us the ability to get to this homestead 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, here on this property. And I have an uncle that I was helping for a while, and another uncle that came in and had bought a piece of property up here where I'm homesteading at now. And he said, Chris, he said, why don't you go up there and talk to Robert and see what you can do on a piece of property up there. So I came up, and this is a place I've wanted to be since I was a child. And there was no agricultural lots left. He had sold the lots that you could grow on at a larger scale. You can grow on all the lots up here, raised beds, but you're not going to have a full out garden, and you're not going to be able to have any larger animals, goats and pigs and things of that nature. Well, luck have it, Robert ended up deciding to sell 2 lots that he was going to keep himself that were agricultural, right at 2 acres of property. And I said, I'll take it. So we're here. I came up Didn't tell anybody that we were going to buy it. Me and Elin came up, got everything set, stayed on the property for 4 or 5 nights figuring out where I wanted to build. Had everything done, had all the infrastructure up and things of that nature. That's a big key I'll give you guys on this is infrastructure before animals. You can do chickens and stuff pretty easily, but get your fencing up, get your barns up, get things up like that before you start buying larger animals. You just can't do it without the infrastructure. So we've been homesteading for that long. I've been homesteading, I guess, my whole life because we've been gardening, we've been hunting, we've been fishing, we've been raising chickens. We've raised rabbits in the past as a child, things of that nature. Mom teaches us how to do a lot of things with baking and traditional, what we would call country cooking around here. And so I guess in some ways I've been homesteading my entire 45 years of life, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I tell my mom and I've told friends in the past during my career as an air marshal as well as a United States Marine, the only thing I've ever been homesick for, truly homesick for, I've missed my parents and stuff, but was for these Appalachian Mountains. So to be back here, living in the center of them, raising our own food, things of that nature, hunting, fishing, and most importantly, raising a quality child that is going to be an amazing human being. Anything can happen. Children are going to take their own ways. But to do the best that I can to raise her the way God wants us to be raised, to truly know who that is, not to know what a church is, but to know who God is, to know who her father and me is, but to understand that there's more important aspects in life than me even, and that's the Lord. To be able to take that, instill that in her, and watch her grow and blossom as a good human being, to be a strong woman, to understand it's okay to find a strong man that will take care of you, to let her understand that, in my opinion, modern society is not the answer to everything, that you need to know how to provide for yourself. You need to understand that you know how to garden and fish and hunt and things of that nature as a woman, but it's okay to let a good man, take that role. You can be there and support, and he should put you on a pedestal and should love you, and you should love him and surrender to him as he surrendered to God. To do that and try to grow her and try to lead her in a path is why we're here on this homestead. And the biggest part of me is here. Some of my family that watch these videos, we've had conversations. My mom, hi Mom. I don't think she understands the way that I feel about God. She's in church every Sunday that she can. Her health doesn't allow her to be there all the time, and that's fine. That's great. That's what works for her. This mountain is my church. My fellowship is you on YouTube. My fellowship is a gathering with friends and having a meal and talking about the Lord, talking about the sacrifices that he made. And I'm kind of off on a tangent with this stuff, but I'm feeling led to talk about it. So, if I can tell anybody anything, this channel is the purpose of it is to inspire other single parents, single mothers, single fathers, young people that are on their own. Go out there and do it. Homesteading, you can do it on your own. I'm getting a little long-winded. I'm watching time on my screen here, so I'm going to have to close this up in a few minutes. But go for it. It's much harder. It is much, 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 much harder to do as a single parent. Make sure you have things in place. Get debt-free or as close to debt-free as you can. If you can do that, you can live on this much. As before, if you have debt, it takes this much. If you have $1,000 a month in debt going out, that means you have to make, a lot more money to survive. But if you don't have that kind of debt, if you can come up to where you can save enough money to get a half acre, quarter acre, whatever piece of property that you can get, if a family member has property that they'll let you go on and homestead until you can save a little money to go there. If you don't have that debt, you can do this homesteading thing. God will let you do it if you live with what he gives you. With that said, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down. If you can, hit the notification bell. I keep getting the analytics and stuff. I said this last video says I need to have more notification bells being rang. I need to have more comments coming in. Ask me questions. Leave them in the comments, please. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. God bless, and live with what God gives you. Bye.